The world's greatest snowcross racers take on the Hawkeye State. Up next, AMSOIL Championship Snowcross and the Tyson Snocross National from Dubuque. Defending pro champ Elias Ischel has been on a sizzling streak. Will his hot hand continue in Iowa? In pro light, can Carson Allred and Evan Dowd step up to challenge phenom Jordan LaBelle? The duel in snow bike rages as cowboy Jesse Kirchmeyer and arch rival Troy Horbati get after it. College student during the week and pro racer on weekends. The surprising story of Anana Helger. Winter comes to the heartland. Are you ready? AMSOIL Championship Snowcross starts now. Round 3 of AMSOIL Championship Snowcross is at the Dubuque Fairgrounds Speedway just outside Dubuque, Iowa. Welcome to the Tyson Snocross National presented by Quickstar here on the CBS Sports Network. Paul Small, Haley Shanley alongside. Haley, whenever we come to Dubuque, unpredictability is usually in the air.
And we may be early in the season, but that does not stop this venue from providing big shakeups.
And we're getting ready for some pro action, so let's get a pre-race report from the third member of our broadcast team, Josie Christian.
Here with Emil Haar, having a phenomenal weekend in the last 2 rounds, 3 and 2, and then going into this weekend. Last year, your best finish in the pro class was a 3rd place, so obviously that second had to mean a lot to you.
Yeah, it was a big day for me, and I had so much fun out there, and I think that was why I could do that good. So I'm gonna try to have as much fun I can this weekend too and see what I can do.
The lineup for this pro qualifier features a rider that had a scary moment last round in the form of Hunter Patno.
It's hard to believe that he is lining up, and not just lining up for starts, but for full-on racing action. Hunter Patno involved with a devastating accident in round 2, but he is back after a quick hospital visit and being closely monitored by medical professionals.
You're about ready to get off the button and get on the throttle. Everybody takes off together, but busting out of the pack looked like a good hole shot there for a moment for Peterson. They're all right out to the Ragged Racer's edge on the outside of the racetrack, and as they come storming out of the corner, looks like that's Hunter Patno who's grabbed the lead.
Another hole shot. Chalk it up for Hunter Patno. Sim riders with nowhere to go were forced off of the track there. They get so bunched up in that first corner of the Stud Boy hole shot. But a great start for Hunter Patno with Adam Peterson just in tow.
So Patno will work his way out of the Air Force turn and now work his way down here toward the Polaris corner. He's got Adam Peterson followed by Elias Ischel giving chase, and not too far behind Ischel is Travis Kern and Lincoln Lemieux. So Patno again coming off of a little bit of an injury, getting banged up in the previous round at Canterbury Park. He's looking strong here at the front of the field in this qualifier.
And look, it's not, I don't want to say it's breathing room. It's far from a level of comfortability, but just a little bit more of a distance between the top 3 that we're seeing in this pro qualifier than we've seen in many of the other pro and other class qualifiers and finals here tonight with just a few turns into this.
There's Travis Kern on that Fly Racing Polaris chasing after your current point leader, Elias Ischel, on the Theme Motorsports number 200. That Hayes-sponsored FXR Skidoo. Meanwhile, Adam Peterson rolling along there in the 2nd position. And both Hunter and Adam have jetted out a little bit here on Ish, who sits back in the 3rd spot at the moment.
Elias Ischel looking so fast, but the fastest sled on track, it appears, is actually Cole Coutu. Last time by 44.259 seconds, his fastest lap.
Yeah, that was 0.3 quicker than the leader the last time around. There's Adam Peterson banging out of the berm there, out of the quick start corner. He's going to look at the pack working their way through. Back over top of Elias Ischel here as the Viking Rocket looks ahead at Adam Peterson, and they go right out to the outside edge on that short chute before they cut across the Polaris corner and then make their way through that Skidoo rhythm section. It is getting rougher and bumpier each time they pass through that part of the track.
Especially coming out of the Skidoo rhythm section, that fast back straightaway, they're having to get on the binders there in that next corner through the FXR turn.
Wow, I am watching these guys getting twisted every which way coming, especially out of that quick start corner. Looked like Patnode almost got a turn turtle. We're watching the Viking Rocket, Elliot Zischel here, and you can see how his sled is being just bounced and kicked around here as he hits the Skidoo rhythm section here and then rolls into the backstretch.
And we are on the final lap. White flag is out, ladies and gentlemen. A few corners to go. And Hunter Patno was saying, is he going to have the longevity in these races just with his heart and his lungs? But he appears to be doing so in this qualifier.
Yeah, he is doing great here, and he's only got a corner and a straightaway left to go to bag this pro qualifier win. So Hunter Patno going to put the Shearing Speed Sport U.S. Air Force AMSOIL Skidoo on top here in this pro qualifier. Adam Peterson will roll through for second. Ischel will finish third. When the Tyson Snocross National returns, it's go time for the Pro Light class. But first, let's step into another AMSOIL garage.
Hello everyone, my name is Jeff Leclerc. I am the BRP race manager. We race for two reasons. First of all, on the marketing side, when we win on a Sunday, it's easier to sell product on a Monday. But we also invest a lot in R&D. The racetrack is where we test our product before it goes into production line. So every customer benefits from everything that we test on the racetrack. Once a production unit comes off the production line, we take it to the race shop and we make sure that it's ready for racing. We adapt shock calibration, clutch calibration, and engine calibration as well. So we take it here and we make sure that it's ready for our customers. We take every product here, we adapt it, and we make sure that it's ready for the racetrack. My name is Jeff Leclerc. Thanks for stopping by at the BRP Race Shop.
AMSOIL Championship Snocross on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by PurTech, 24/7 hydraulic and industrial hose service. By Sunoco, fuel your best. By Polaris. By AMSOIL, runs on freedom. And by Tyson's, Home Farm Auto. More for you.
Makita is the official power tool of AMSOIL Championship Snocross, and they also provide this great spot for the crew members to check out the action, the Makita Power Tower.
The tools of the trade, what are they? Let's find out. We're heading up to the Warner Racing Shop in Minnesota to learn more about it and what goes on between race weekends.
I'm here with the 220 Francis Pelletier Racing Snowmobile. We're going to talk about racer controls and comfort. We'll start up front. We have the ROX handguards, and we ran this foam in the handguards at the last race in Fargo because it was 20 below zero with 20-mile-an-hour wind. So we needed a little extra protection, so we added the foam on a set of handguards and put them on, and we raced them the entire weekend. We also run the ROX bar pad here. It's lightweight, super lightweight. This is Nathan McConnell at Warner Racing. Thank you for joining me on Makita Shop Talk.
Time for our Pro Light Final here in Dubuque. Nick Lorenz is our #1 qualifier.
Talk about a man and machine that have been on rails here in this round, getting things turned around from the last round by dialing in their clutching. So watch for him on the stud boy hole shot.
Before we get the green light, let's go to Josie Christian.
Jordan LaBelle, he's only 17 years old, and his journey is pretty incredible coming from Quebec, Canada. He's had season-ending injuries, he's had multiple wins, and he's had championships. Talking to him earlier, he didn't think his season would end the way it did last year, but he's very humbled to be with Warner Racing this year and having not one, but 2 wins under his belt already this season. You'll never be able to tell he's so young by his grit, passion for the sport, and everything else that goes with it. Let's see how he does.
Pro Light is on track here in Dubuque. Let's see who can get out of that box and into the corner first on the outside lane. It is going to be Jordan LaBelle with the stud boy hole shot.
And I stand corrected. He charges his way to the point in clean air now. But we'll see what happens here in the Arctic Cat corner.
Meanwhile, behind him, anything but clean air. business is picking up big time behind your race leader. Breaking out into the second spot, looks like one of the Anderson sleds. That's going to be Corbin Anderson. Good start for Anson Shield as well, as he sits in the number 3 position. And oh boy, he gets tipped off the sled. Little bit of contact there perhaps with either Lorenz or Ulrich, not sure. But he is struggling to get that sled back upright, and he's going to fall to the back of the pack.
Nowhere to go, not enough time to brake. He sent it a little too hard there, goes up over the sled. Looks like he has refired back on his way, but now we're getting a look at what appears to be the 157, excuse me.
Yep, that's Riley Bester back there in about 5th spot right now. Jordan LaBelle has already gapped out a little bit. We've got a battle developing for the number 3 spot here behind Corbin Anderson. That's where Anson Shield and Cameron Anderson were fighting it out. Now it's going to be Cameron Anderson and Nick Lorenz fighting it out for the podium.
The top 5 riders all within 6 seconds. Only 6 seconds are separating P1 through P6. P5, excuse me, with Riley Bester currently in 5th. Jordan LaBelle up to almost a 3-second lead over Corbin Anderson.
You can keep track of the time up there on our timing and scoring on the top left of the screen. And again, once that clock reaches 0, then the next time the leader comes by, it's 2 laps to go. That is a ways away, and right now Jordan LaBelle has made himself a little ways away from Corbin Anderson to the tune of about 2.8 seconds.
And Nick Lorenz charging and closing in on the number 12 of Cameron Anderson. It's been a while since Cameron Anderson's been on the box. He suffered a knee injury in the opening rounds in 2021, which sidelined him for the rest of the season, so it's been a minute. So he's hungry for this podium finish, just as is Nick Lorenz.
Lorenz going to try to take the line away here, but Anderson won't give an inch. So we're going to go bar to bar through the Skidoo rhythm section and down the backstretch, and Lorenz gutting it out there on the inside. And look at Anderson cranking hard left, trying to come back there in case the door opens back up there, but Lorenz gaps out by a couple of sled lengths as he'll move to a podium spot after he gets a little goose in the back end there from Cameron Anderson.
It's not like there's a particular section of the track that Nick Lorenz is really specifying in and capitalizing in. No, the passes that he's made in his qualifiers and so far in this final have been in all different sections of the track. So Nick Lorenz, he has his sights set on P2, about 3 seconds ahead. That's the number 17 of Corbin Anderson.
Meanwhile, Jordan LaBelle out to a 4-second lead out of the front of the pack, so he is well in control of this one and has set the fastest lap of the race so far at about a 45.167. There is your leader on the Warnet Makita and Baja Jerky sponsored Skidoo. Working his way around that Arctic Cat corner now, maybe starting to catch some traffic here at the back of the field.
Now Nick Lorenz here in the 3rd place position, about just over 2 seconds behind Corbin Anderson, putting together fast laps. Nick Lorenz last time by the stripe clocked in a 46.379 seconds on that lap time.
Yeah, so he's drawing just a little bit there on Corbin Anderson. Still about a 2-second gap between the two, though, and time is ticking away down to about a minute and a half plus 2 laps left to go. He's close enough now to Corbin Anderson that he's getting some of Corbin's roost. So this is where that fitness really comes into play. When you get into these final few laps here, you've been riding hard all race long, your body feels like it wants to just break down and give up, but you got to keep on pushing. This is where it's gut check time. Corbin Anderson trying to hang on to that number 2 spot. Lorenz wants it. He's coming.
And it's been a minute since we've seen the number 17 Skidoo rider of Anderson Racing, Michigan runner, on the podium. It was with his win, I believe, at ERX Motor Park towards the tail end of the 2021 season. He wants to get back up there and do it for the family. A family operation, Anderson Racing. Him and his brother, both proven pro-light winners. But Nick Lorenz, if he continues this upward trend of closing in on Corbin Anderson, 2 laps to go, next time by, he might be able to seal the deal for P2.
So they'll make their way over the AMSOIL finish line jump. The 2-to-go signal being given here for these riders in 2nd and 3rd. And there's Lorenz pulling a triple. We haven't seen anybody doing a triple in that section of the track. It seems to be working out well for him, though, and he continues to try to hunt down Corbin Anderson in this battle for second, while Jordan LaBelle has skated out to a 9-second advantage at the front of the field.
Nicholas Lorenz, I'm calling it in right now. That was our U.S. Air Force big air moment of the day so far, but he has his sights, his scope is locked on the number 17, Corbin Anderson. About a lap and a corner to go as they make their way through the switchbacks.
This time by, they will see the white flag, so final lap underway here in tonight's Pro Light main event. The previous 2 rounds won by Jordan LaBelle, and he could well be on his way to a 3rd victory of the season as this battle for second on the final lap will continue all the way down to the wire. There's lap traffic ahead for Corbin Anderson. He should be able to clear to the inside. Back up front, here's Jordan LaBelle working his way into the Tyson's corner, so he's got a couple of turns and he will have his 3rd win of the season. He looks over his shoulder. He is a long way out in front. He'll come around the quick start corner, and it's a hat trick for the rider from Quebec. Jordan LaBelle is your Pro Light main event winner for the 3rd time in the AMSOIL Championship Snocross season. Corbin Anderson holds on over those final couple of laps over a hard-charging Nick Lorenz as they will come away 2nd and 3rd. Our Pertec fastest lap goes to Jordan LaBelle. We'll meet our winner at the podium when AMSOIL Championship Snocross returns. Pro Light is on track here in Dubuque. Let's see who can get out of that box and into the corner first on the outside lane. It is going to be Jordan LaBelle with the stud boy hole shot. Meanwhile, behind him, anything but clean air. Business is picking up big time behind your race leader. Breaking out into the second spot, looks like one of the Anderson sleds. That's going to be Corbin Anderson. Good start for Anson Shield as well as he sits in the number 3 position. And oh boy, he gets tipped off the sled. Right now, Jordan LaBelle has made himself a little ways away from Corbin Anderson to the tune of about 2.8 seconds. Lorenz going to try to take the line away here, but Anderson won't give an inch. So we're going to go bar to bar through the Skidoo Rhythm section and down the backstretch, and Lorenz gutting it out there on the inside. And look at Anderson cranking hard left, trying to come back there in case the door opens back up there, but Lorenz counts out by a couple of sled lengths as he'll move to a podium spot after he gets a little goose in the back end there from Cameron Anderson. Back up front, here's Jordan LaBelle working his way into the Tyson's corner, so he's got a couple of turns and he will have his 3rd win of the season. He looks over his shoulder. He is a long way out in front. They'll come around the quick start corner, and it's a hat trick for the rider from Quebec.
I was just trying to keep my lines and get some lines that are a little faster than the rest of the field. I got a couple lines in and I just stayed there and keep them and just made my race, yeah.
Our competitive pro women's division is up for their final. The top 3 qualifiers, all 3 of them battling it out hot and heavy this year.
And it's the battle of the brands, a Skidoo, Polaris, and Arctic Cat, all in championship contention.
Let's get a pre-race report with Josie.
Nothing is stopping these women this season. In the first round, we saw Taven Woody break her nose, come back in the second round, and take a win. She said she's here to have fun and not letting a minor injury affect her season, especially on this track, because a year ago last season, we saw her tear her ACL here, so a little bit of redemption for her. Well, Malinka 2, on the other hand, won the first round, and in the second round, ended up getting a deep bone bruise in her leg from a ski. But guess what? She's racing today. Like I said, nothing is stopping these women.
And the pro women final is on. Looks like a good launch for Maylene Coutu, but maybe not the best. She's going to be pipped on the inside by Anana Hauger. Taven Woody trying to come through the middle here to grab the number 2 spot. Maylene hustling up alongside of Taven Woody, and oh, they bang together. Maylene gets it sideways. She hangs on for 3rd, and Taven is already hunting for the lead on Hauger. Yeah, that battle is on for the number 2 spot. Here comes Maylene working to the outside, and she is not going to get it as Taven takes the line away from her. Bar to bar, and Maylene will outbreak Taven going into the corner. and she will move into the number 2 spot, go chasing after Anana Hauger. Look at how quickly she closed in on Anana. There's the open door. She'll try to put a ski up alongside. Maylene trying to go outside in there through the FXR sweeper, and the sled got a little wonky on her, and she had to check up and reset. But she's only a couple of sled lengths back behind Hauger. She's going to try to ramp the outside, and Anna had that sussed out, blocks it, and now Maylene shoots the outside lane going into the quick start corner. Oh, hung up on the soft snow, otherwise she may have had the lead. The white flag is waving. So here comes the run to the finish. They're into the Arctic Cat corner. Anana's going to go to the inside. Maylene trying to go outside in as they make their way over the short chute to the quick start corner and blast their way out. Hole shot. Hauger is going to hang on and grab the win over Maylene Coutu. Taven Woody will complete the podium with a 3rd place finish, our 3rd different pro women final winner in 3 rounds so far this season. From the podium to the classroom and back, get to know Anana Hauger.
Yeah, the feeling of racing, it's just insane, honestly. Just the adrenaline rush, everything, like nothing on this earth can compare to it, I don't think. It's just, when you do get a whole shot, it's like, wow, like I'm really doing this. I'm a professional snowcross racer, full-time student athlete, so I go to school all year round. This school has allowed me to do that, play soccer, which I also love to do, and get to race snowcross. I race snowmobiles because it's just been a passion of mine ever since I started. My dad used to race a while back, and then so he introduced us to the sport. And actually leaving a race when I was 6 years old, my mom passed away. So it's kind of just been like carrying on a thing that my whole family loved to do, but just taking it to the next level. So being a full-time student athlete and professional athlete, it's a lot, but I just keep looking towards my end goal. My end goal for my career is to be a nurse anesthetist. And for snowcross, I just keep looking forward to the start of the season and just keeping my eyes on hopefully winning a championship. And when things get hard, that's just what I think about. So I think my workload definitely, it kind of puts me at an advantage, but also a disadvantage, I guess, because everyone, all they kind of do is just, they train all year long and then they show up and they hop on their snowmobile. And for me, I have things going on all year round, like with school, and then while I'm racing, I still have school to focus on. But after snowcross is over, then I have soccer to focus on as well. So I guess it's not really a disadvantage. I kind of like the lifestyle that I live. I kind of think it's my dream life, honestly. Playing those long soccer games, it definitely puts me in amazing shape to race snowcross. I definitely feel like I have something to prove this year. Last year I was just a notch below, and I feel like this year I've been training so hard and I've been doing everything I can do to just get better and better every day. So this year I'm definitely hoping to win a championship and do everything I can to win a championship.
When the Tyson Snocross National returns, can cowboy Jesse Kirchmeier defend his title in pro snowbike? Welcome back to AMSOIL Championship Snowcross and the Tyson's National. We're crossing the Mississippi River into Dubuque, Iowa's oldest city. We shift gears now for Snowbike Moto 2. It was a great battle between Jesse Kirchmeier and Yannick Boucher in the first moto.
In the premier battle of the last round in Moto 2 was between Yannick Boucher and Keaton Ward. Keaton, who has changed brands this year from a Husqvarna to the Yamaha.
Let's get an update from Josie Christian before we send the snowbikes on track.
Jesse Kirchmeier obviously has a very big target on his back when it comes to this snow bike class, but one thing that he exudes very well and allows him to be so successful is consistency. You have 2 motos, and going into that final moto, results are tabulated together. So you can make a comeback in this class. Stability is one of the most important things that these riders can do, as well as momentum, and if they're able to keep both of those up, they have a good chance at beating Kirchmeier.
Green lights, and we are underway with the second Moto a Pro snow bike, and the whole shot is not gotten by Kirchmeier, not by Horbati, not by Boucher. It was Keaton Ward that had it for a moment there, but now it looks like it's going to be Yannick Boucher who is going to jump out into the lead, and we got to look and see where Kirchmeier is in the field. Looks like he's about fourth or fifth, just made the move to go into fourth here as we're coming around from the end of lap number 1.
A great start for as the number 19 of Canyon Ashley with the stud boy hole shot. But Yannick Boucher rockets his way to the front of the field.
Watching some of the action a little bit for the roof. Look at that. We saw the look from overhead. That's what happens when you land on a tough block.
Super, super tight. You got to time those rhythms just right, but you're running these bikes on the ragged edge of the track, mechanic-wise and physically on the edge of the race course, but these snow bikes being pushed to their limits here with these cold, blistering temps. They are motorcycles, dirt bikes at their core. They don't love the cold, but a guy like Yannick Boucher and all these front runners and any of these snow bikes, they got it down to a science. But look at this battle shaping up between Canyon Ashley and the 157 of Troy Horbati. We have your defending champion, Jesse Kirchmeier, just behind.
Yeah, Kirchmeier having to do some work here. He's going to carve the outside here to see if he can get alongside that Kawasaki of Ashley. See ya. Gets him for the third spot. Now working on Horbati for second. And he's going to be bar to bar with him coming down to the Skidoo rhythm section. Horbati's going to change up lanes, go to the inside. Kirchmeier going to stay to the outside. That was a key pass for Kirchmeier, although it's not complete yet because Horbati is still right there trying to get to his inside. Almost makes contact with him.
Two of the sport's best right here battling for the second place position. Yannick Boucher up front. Looks like he might even be approaching lap traffic here eventually. I know we had a rider go down. Might be catching him at the end of the field, but here we have Jesse Kirchmeier again negotiating lap traffic. That appears to be the 4:08 of Austin Redinzel.
Now here's the deal for Kirchmeier, why that pass on Horbati was so important. He finished first in the first moto, and right now he's in second. Boucher was battling for the lead at the end of moto number 1 with him when he crashed out and finished further down the order. So by making the pass on Horbati, Kirchmeier has put himself in the driver's seat to capture the overall, even if he doesn't win this second moto. Oh, and look at Jesse. He's not going to be content to finish second here, not by any means. He is trying to run Yannick Boucher down as he'll keep it around the outside on the sweeping FXR turn. And then they'll get into this tight switchback stuff, which is really suited for these snow bikes. These guys love to have these big bowl turns, just like a supercross track, where they can just carve and hammer down.
Very much so. Very similar to a supercross track or even arena cross. Very tight. But also these snow bikes really love their momentum. Big sweeping turns, but a guy who doesn't necessarily need the big sweeping turn is a hard-charging Jesse Kirchmeier, who will make it work, taking those inside lines when he has to, where there's often a rhythm involved. But here he seems to be closing in on the 53 of Yannick Boucher, the Butcher.
Oh, and this is a flashback to what happened in Moto 1, because it was in this spot on the track that Boucher crashed when he had just taken the lead. Now Kirchmeier sees lap traffic. He's going to try to cross over to the inside. Oh, what a gutsy move, and Boucher goes off the track. Kirchmeier taking the lead, and then Boucher comes out on the track in front of him. I don't know how that's going to necessarily go over. We'll let the officials sort that out as they come to the checkered flag. Now for Kirchmeier, even if he does officially finish second, it doesn't matter. He's locked up the overall win, but what a wild finish.
It's easy to see why they call him the Cowboy. We'll meet our winner at the podium when AMSOIL Championship Snocross returns.
Green lights, and we are underway with the second Moto a Pro snow bike, and the whole shot is not gotten by Kirchmeier, not by Horbati, not by Boucher. It was Keaton Ward that had it for a moment there, but now it looks like it's going to be Yannick Boucher who is going to jump out into the lead, and we got to look and see where Kirchmeier is in the field. Looks like he's about fourth or fifth, just made the move to go into fourth here as we're coming around from the end of lap number 1. Yeah, Kirchmeier having to do some work here. He's going to carve the outside here to see if he can get alongside that Kawasaki of Ashley. See ya. Gets him for the third spot. Now working on Horbati for second. And he's going to be bar to bar with him coming down to the Skidoo rhythm section. Orbani's going to change up lanes, go to the inside. Kirchmeier going to stay to the outside. That was a key pass for Kirchmeier, although it's not complete yet because Orbani is still right there trying to get to his inside. Almost makes contact with it. Look at Jesse. He's not going to be content to finish second here, not by any means. He is trying to run Yannick Boucher down. Kirchmeier sees lap traffic. He's going to try to cross over to the inside. Oh, what a gutsy move, and Boucher goes off the track. Kirchmeier taking the lead, and then Boucher comes out on the track in front of him. I don't know how that's going to necessarily go over. We'll let the officials sort that out as they come to the checkered flag.
I was just kind of starting to find my rhythm and, just letting her all hang out. And, we got a little close there at the end with Yannick and, a little closer than I'd like. You've been racing with him for a long time, a lot of respect for the guy. So, definitely sorry about that. Didn't mean, things could have been ugly there. And other than that, track crew, everyone ISOC here is doing a great job at putting on a good event.
It's 10 minutes plus 2 laps, and they're ready to get after it. The Pro Final is next.
AMSOIL Championship Snocross on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by AMSOIL. Runs on Freedom. By the U.S. Air Force. Full-time, part-time, in or out of uniform. Join us. And by Makita. Experience Makita cordless outdoor power equipment. Rule the outdoors.
Pro Final action coming up now, and how about the all-finished concrete Arctic Cat team is number 1 and number 3 qualifiers tonight.
And that is not the only duo of riders looking to get back to their podium garnering ways. Look at Francis Pelletier and Oscar Norum, who are looking to get back on the box.
And look at this back row. This could easily be a front row at any time during the season. Let's go to Josie Christian.
After talking to the riders after qualifying rounds, it's the same thing. They're all talking about getting that hole shot. It's like we talked about earlier with that clutching. This is where it comes into play. So it's the rider who's able to take that risk and take that challenge to try come up with creative lines in order to get out front quickest.
The pros hit the track, and it looks like Francis Pelletier may have grabbed the stud boy hole shot. He had about a ski loop on everybody else coming off the starting line. He's got company coming to the outside, but he's going to hip check Travis Muller. Muller's now going to cross over, try to come to his inside as they work their way towards that 180-degree Arctic Cat corner.
That was scary fast reaction time from Francis Pelletier, the 220, and right there alongside him, Travis Muller right up there in the top 3, but rider down. That is one of the Shearing Speed Sports sleds. That's Hunter Patno, perhaps? No, it's Logan Christian that had the sled tip over, and he is going to get it fired back up, but he is going to be a ways back. Meanwhile, it is Francis Pelletier at the front of the field at the end of lap number 1, followed by Norum, Muller, Patnode, and Elias Ischel back in 5th, although he's going to jump ahead of a spot here as he works his way forward, going down into the FXR turn. Oscar Norum, a great start for the number 40 Henches Racing Polaris ride. There we have the number 200 Elias Ischel right there on the tunnel of the number 8 Hunter Patnode. Yeah, and there's been a change at the front of the field as well. Oscar Norum has gotten by Francis Pelletier, so Pelletier falls back to second. Patnode and Ischel right now are fighting for that number 3 position as they work down into the Air Force corner. There's Oscar Norum on the Monster Energy Polaris holding on to the lead. Here's the race for the number 3 position coming out of the Polaris turn, and coming in quickly is Jacob Yerk in the number 5 position. Great few early passes for the number 8 of Hunter Patnode. He's trying to gain every position he can to get himself into somewhat of a comfortable position that will allow him to relax maybe just a little bit, but he's going to need to preserve every ounce of energy he can. So preservation is the name of the game for the number 8. 8 minutes left to go. Here is a 10-minute plus 2-lap race. Oh, Jacob Yerk coming up alongside the defending champ here, giving him fits coming through the quick start corner. Throwing everything in the kitchen sink with the number 200 Elias Ischel. He's going to try to make a move here from the inside line, as goes the number 200 Elias Ischel. There they go, down turns 1 and 2 of the dirt track. Oh, and look at that move from Jacob Yerk. A little bit of aggression on the all-finished concrete Arctic Cat, and he gets ahead of Ischel and blasts his way up into the number 4 position.
Yerk again trying to cut to the inside of Patino here and get the run over the AMSOIL finish line. Jump separated by about 2 sled lengths in this battle for the 3rd and 4th positions. Yerk's going outside.
Taking the far outside line, not going to be enough, at least not in the Polaris corner. Then they head into the Ski-Doo rhythm section.
Yerk going to try to make the outside run here. He'll go all the way to the top of the track in the FXR turn. Patino comes out, throws the block on him, takes that momentum away maybe a little bit. Ischel looking over his shoulder to see if traffic's coming behind him as Yerk continues to put in the work, and he's going to try again for the inside. This time he might be able to get alongside, and he does. Can he get into the quick start corner on the inside? No. Patino protects that bottom lane. Yerk crossing over now, outside in, going into the Air Force turn.
Wow, that inside line in the Arctic Cat corner leads you right into the final turn before the AMSOIL finish line, and that is where you don't want to be on the outside. As history has shown here tonight, that inside line, final corner is where you want to be. Jacob Yerk not able to get the favorable line, but it's not over yet.
Yerk is going to make the move. He set that up coming out of the Polaris corner, gets in front of Patino, takes his line away as they head through the FXR sweeper. So Jacob Yerk up onto the podium now. Man, they are battling hot and heavy here in the middle of the pack. And by the way, Jacob Yerk just made another move as we watch Francis Pelletier is back up at the front of the field. Yerk is now second. Norum has fallen back to third. So Pelletier back up front on the Makita Baja Jerky Ski-Doo. Yerk giving chase. He's about 3.5 seconds back with 3:45 plus 2 laps left to go. And now Emil Haar working on Hunter Patino down the backstretch.
And we're watching this battle shape up. We're going to take a look at what happened to Oscar Norum.
This was coming into the Tyson's corner. Oh, just got bounced off the sled. That is how Pelletier got the lead away, and why Norm has fallen back into third, and he's about to come under threat now from, looks like Emil Haar and Patino. Ischel falling out of the top 5 here. Surprised to see that from the reigning and defending champion and 2-time winner so far this season. Meanwhile, up front, still by about 5 seconds, Francis Pelletier on the Makita Baja Jerky number 220, having a great ride here tonight. Had the lead early, fell back to second behind Oscar Norm, but when Norm had misfortune, Pelletier was able to capitalize.
And teammates, they motivate each other, they share notes, they're analyzing the same data. And his teammate, Jordan LaBelle, went out and won his 3rd Pro Light race in a row this season, has been undefeated. You know they're sharing talking points and data back there in the Warner Racing pit. But Francis Pelletier looking so strong on this. A great start for him. We have just 1 minute and 19 seconds plus 2 laps to go. It's far from over.
Well, it's no guarantee for Francis. Remember what happened to Oscar Norm. It looked like he was going along fine. All of a sudden, the sled just bucked the wrong way, and he didn't go with it, and unfortunately went off the sled. Same thing could happen to any of the riders in the field at any point in time. 1 minute left to go, plus 2 laps, as Francis Pelletier looks for his first pro final win of the season. Emil Haar makes the move on Jacob Yerk. He's up to second.
He is going for it. The number 31 Judnick Motorsports Polaris ride. He is on the move. And looking at the lap times here, Emil Haar, one of the fastest lap times, 46.094 seconds, the distance last time by. That appears to be our fastest lap of the field that last time by.
Emil Haar immediately pulling away from the Jacob Yerk machine here. Yerk solidly in third. Lincoln Lemieux is about 3 seconds or so behind him and out of a podium spot in 4th, and Oscar Norm in the 5th position right now as the clock counts down here. Next time the leader comes around, we'll have 2 laps left to go in this pro final.
We're getting a look at there, Jacob Yerk currently sitting in 3rd. Man, it's been a great night for Team All Finish Racing, but to solidify a podium finish, that would be huge. The first for the team, of course, one of our new teams here, but look at that right-hand upper corner side of your screen. It is the number 13, Lincoln Lemieux. He has cranked it up. They have got things figured out. We'll see if he's able to make a pass for that podium position.
Meanwhile, Francis Pelletier headed towards the white flag. Here's Emil Haar rolling along in second. He's chipped maybe about 0.3 of a second advantage out, and that's about it. The white flag waving at the AMSOIL finish line, or excuse me, the 2-to-go signal here at the AMSOIL finish line jump. Haar changing up lanes here a little bit, trying something a little different, coming around the outside on the short chute. Meanwhile, coming through the skidoo rhythm section is your leader, Francis Pelletier.
If Francis is able to solidify this round 3 win, this would be a career first. This is his second year in the pro class, had his first career podiums early on. It's the third event of the season 2021, and he wasted no time in adding additional podiums to that resume, but this one would be big.
He cranks out of the Arctic Cat corner, down under the arch here through this little short chute that leads into the quick start corner. One more trip around and Francis Pelletier could have a career first pro final win.
Just needs to maintain his composure on this final lap. The margin from him ahead of P2, Emil Haar, is 3.5 seconds. That's it. He's got to be on the point here. Yes, it appears to be a comfortable gap, but with this track, the biggest wild card is these deep holes. It's rough, it's sketchy, but he's made it this far.
So Francis Pelletier works out of the Tyson's corner, heads through this switchback section, as we call it, up into the Arctic Cat turn. And it's going to be a great night here for Warnet Racing. Jordan LaBelle wins Pro Light, and Francis Pelletier, a first-time winner in the Pro Division. Great ride for Francis for the win. Emil Haar charges through the field to finish in second, but it's all joy and smiles between the teammates here. Jordan LaBelle congratulating Francis Pelletier, who has won his first Pro Final.
Francis Pelletier, you are the man. Congratulations, career first pro win. Celebrating with team members from the Warner Racing Makita-backed Skidoo program.
We'll get the latest news from our winner when AMSOIL Championship Snocross roars back.
The pros hit the track, and it looks like Francis Pelletier may have grabbed the stud boy hole shot. He had about a ski loop on everybody else coming off the starting line. He's got company coming to the outside, but he's going to hip check Travis Muller. Muller's now going to cross over, try to come to his inside as they work their way towards that 180-degree Arctic Cat corner. Yeah, and there's been a change at the front of the field as well. Oscar Norm has got by Francis Pelletier, so Pelletier falls back to second. Jacob Muir coming up alongside the defending champ here, giving him fits coming through the quick start corner. Oh, and look at that move from Jacob Muir. A little bit of aggression on the all-finished concrete Arctic Cat, and he gets ahead of Ishel and blasts his way up into the number 4 position. Jurk's not done yet. He's going hunting for Hunter, as in Pat Node. Meanwhile, up front, still by about 5 seconds, Francis Pelletier had the lead early, fell back to second behind Oscar Norm, but when Norm had misfortune, Pelletier was able to capitalize. And it's going to be a great night here for Warnet Racing. Jordan LaBelle wins Pro Light, and Francis Pelletier, a first-time winner in the Pro Division.
Just being out front in the beginning, like I get injured last weekend, so just being out front, I was like, that's good, just put some momentum and try to put some pressure on Oscar, and I don't know what's happened to him, but somehow I was first, so I just keep going in my lane, just slow and fast at the same time. I want a big thanks to everyone who made this happen. Thank you.
Well, congratulations on your first pro win tonight.
First time this season that Elias Ishel didn't finish on the podium, and he clings to the point lead now over a surging Emil Haar.
And with Francis Pelletier's first career pro win, that has inserted him into the top 5 point standings.
You can follow along with us on social media and check out our official website as well at snocross.com. For Josie Christian and Haley Shanley, I'm Paul Small. Thanks for watching AMSOIL Championship Snocross on the CBS Sports Network.